Good evening. Welcome to Damage Does D&D. Were not here last week. Apologies, that was totally on me. I was unwell and unable to DM, so I apologise. These lovely people didn't get to game as well, so they're a bit annoyed. But we are back, and we are just approaching the city of Redport, and we will turn things over to the wonderful Miette to give her recap of what happened last time. Take it away, Miette.
I despair of these people. It does not take an entire evening and most of the next morning to choose a direction of travel. Sorry, technical difficulty.
Technical. You good?
I hope so. Okay, we're good now. Sorry about that. You just point to a horizon, you line up the horses, and you get moving in roughly that direction. It is simple. Any more discussion that needs to happen can happen once we're already on the move. But no, it's fine. It's not like we have a number of highly motivated, contracted persons chasing us, nor an urgent need to protect some of the members of the group from bringing an even greater doom upon all of us. And they keep complaining about myself or Snow wandering off like alley cats. And to that I say, I would not have to wander off if my every decision was not accompanied by hours-long conference about how bad an idea it is. Merd, I would have done the job in return by the time they've all had their say and their counter-arguments about how I shouldn't go alone. My best work is done on my own. I don't know what they see when they look at me, but I doubt it as a performer. Never mind that I didn't note a single word of thanks when Snow's solo wandering for the damn need for water resulted in a ship that took us directly to Redport without having returned to Dar, an option that is by far the safest. Is it any wonder that they don't understand Tabaxi when they can't understand themselves? I worry about Snow, though. He seems to have wholly given himself over to a being he knows next to nothing about. He only knows knowledge and power as an offer, and that has gone to his head enough that he becomes convinced he knows better than all his people's stories, and that they will be grateful for his returning an ill omen to their sights. Just as Trellador turns to York asking for his guidance and making his deals for power. I don't believe either of them have even thought to ask what will come of these deals. They are only interested in what they can get here and now and not of the consequences. Melissa or Florian perhaps could caution them, but they seem still too wrapped up in their own grief to fully realise the return of their worship. I worry. I worry about understanding myself even. The first time I saw one of the fallen ones in Dar, I simply ignored him as I was taught. But I wondered, as I often do, how one of the wandering gusts can come to be without a caravan. These people are my new caravan, though we have neither cart or horses or fur. I don't think they would approve of most of my decisions, but I do not tend to linger long enough to hear their opinions on most of them. But still, these are my people now, and they don't need to know the things I do to keep them safe.
Well, superb. So, sounds like Miette's quite cross at the moment. So, just to give you another brief rundown, you have taken the uh, the Rune FA under Snow's guidance to Redport. City, as you sailed into the port itself, you noticed that none of the tabaxi of the treading waters would even look at the boat, and all work stopped as they turned to face away from it. Now, before we get into the city proper, there are a few things that some of you will know about Redport. Yet, you will know that wandering gusts are not welcome within the city walls. You have been here before. The guards are very hot on keeping wandering gusts out of the city walls and away from the incredibly rich, pampered folk that inhabit this world. Melissa, you have been here before as well, and you will also know that wandering gusts are not allowed in the city. The city is very rich. Uh, it's not a very big city. It's more like a large town than a big city. But there are paved streets. There are expensive shops. The inhabitants of this city do not wish to see anybody of a poorer type, shall we say. They are incredibly snobbish, as you know, Melissa. And you, coming back here, you realise that some of the members of your party may cause some upset here. And you may worry that Miette will be escorted out of the city. Those you two know the city or know the environs. In the case of Miette, you've not been in the city itself before, but you know you've been outside to do performances, etc. So, as you pull into the docks on the Rune and which glides to a stop beside a jetty, allowing you to tie up if you wish, Snow.
Question.
Yep.
If I don't tie it up, is it going to go anywhere?
How could I possibly answer that?
Fuck.
If you do tie it up, are you just going to come back to a broken rope?
True. Very true.
It's up to you. What would you like to do?
I'm going to not tie it up because I've got an inkling that I could probably find it again if I needed to.
Okay.
And to be fair to him, it's going to freak the rest of them the fuck out that I haven't tied it up. So that's good with him.
Okay. Yeah. The rest of you notice that Snow does not seem to be doing what other tabaxi do when they come into dock. He's not tying the boat up. He's not issuing commands about anything.
Snow will just let the rest of them sort of debark onto the jetty, and then he'll casually sort of step off and just saunter down the because he's got his sort of big flowing midnight blue cloak on,
Okay.
and his hands are basically behind his back, and he just saunters down the jetty.
Okay.
Well, I suppose we're going that way then, aren't we? Go on, you're right.
Have I been spotted yet?
Make a perception check.
As he walks along, he will be basically challenging any of the tabaxi to make eye contact with him.
They do not. They
13.
hear your approach and look away. 13. I mean, you look around, you don't see any guards or anything like that. You know there are guards here. This is one of the few cities that employ almost a standing army of guards, if you like. They are very well paid and they're very good at their jobs.
Does anyone else find this all very eerie?
It's warmer than a welcome in Redport can be. I'm gonna, as we're following after Snow, I'll just drop next to Miette and just say quietly, if we run into trouble, I'll do my best to keep him from trying to kick you out. Don't know how much how much power I have here now.
I think if we run into trouble, you should let them escort me out to the city and leave a sign for me somewhere so I know where to find you later.
We'll do our best to stay together.
You'll attract much less attention if you don't try to defend me.
Oh, I'm going to attract attention here no matter what happens.
Okay, so as you walk off the jetties here, there is a large building in front of you, which is the trading post. There are more buildings than this. This is just to give you an idea of what Redport looks like. All the buildings are various shades of red, giving the city its name. There are pathways, walkways, and at this time in the evening, early evening, it's still fairly busy. There are people starting to. The nightlife is about to start. People are going to shows and opera and evenings out. So there's a lot of people sort of dressed up fairly in very posh clothes.
I'm assuming this is a lot more lit up than what Dar would be this
Oh,
time
very
of.
definitely, yes. There are magical street lamps that you pass that emit a soft yellow glow, making the streets a sort of orange reflection on the floor from the red buildings with the yellow glow of the street lamps.
As we're walking down, can I see if I can hear anybody talking or mumbling about how we turned up, how we got here?
Sure, make a perception check.
18.
18. There are, as you're walking down the jetty, you haven't got to the end of the jetty yet to get onto the paved area, you hear some tabaxi on other boats just sort of whispering to each other words like, "It's the cursed one. The Rune Fane is here."
I'll catch up with Snow if I can.
Yeah. Well, he's not going particularly quickly. He's just sort of.
No.
He's even got a bit of a swagger on at the minute.
I'll try and make it look as best as if he is essentially our captain. I kind of know he is because he found the boat and was steering it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got beside him and sort of fairly quietly be him. Why aren't they looking at us? They're kind of saying that it's the cursed one, the boat we came on. What?
The stories that we are told when we are kids is that the Rune Ifan is a cursed ship that sends people insane. Anybody that's written on it is not coherent enough to tell you what they have seen. And I would say that our journey on it makes that a little bit false.
Definitely, I seem to still have my man. Are you going? We going straight to the trading post?
Well, I can go and present myself, and I would recommend that the rest of you try and secure lodgings.
So as you get to the end of the pier and into the start of the dock setting proper, you notice there is a guard station at the end, and a guard steps out and says, "New arrivals, huh? That's fantastic. So, papers please, name of vessel, captain."
Boat is the Rune Fane. And I
Rune
suppose
Fane. And
in absence of anybody else, I am the captain.
your name?
Snow on the riverbank.
Snow on the riverbank. Well, I suggest, Snow on the riverbank, you take your. He looks around at the rest of you, companions, and head on up to the trading post. You are expected.
I know.
That will be, of course, 5 gold for the berth.
Of
of your
course.
ship.
Snow will give him the 5 gold.
Cool. He
At
takes
this
it
point, I'm
and
gonna.
issues you a receipt.
And the trust that nothing will happen to it.
Of course, nothing will happen to it. This is Redport. This is not some backwater fishing village.
Oh, I know, but the rest of my erstwhile people are a little bit superstitious.
A boat is a boat.
I'm glad you think so.
You know, he is not a tabaxi. He is a tiefling. He's not interested in your superstitions. Only in doing his job and getting paid.
Fair enough.
So he issues you your receipt. Gestures towards the large building of the trading post.
At this point, I'm gonna put my hood up on my cloak, and just so that I can be a little less obvious.
Okay.
Then I'll do the same, since I'm been made to look as close to Melissa as they can.
Also very true. Good point.
I'll just be like, after you, Captain, and kind of take that stance as his sort of like bit of a not first mate, but you know what I mean, so like right hand
Yeah.
man on dockside.
Okay.
So as we get past the guards, Snow will drop back into the middle of the group. It would appear that we are expected.
Well, you knew that.
So are we doing this together?
I think we should. We should do everything together.
I
Yeah,
get
yeah.
the
Family,
feeling,
aren't we?
I get the feeling that if you don't come with me, then more guards will be summoned and we will be escorted. And as we're not criminals,
Indeed, and maybe not everything together, Gus.
Why
I
not?
should also note that unless things have changed around here, which don't look it like it does, the guards would, by rights of the laws here, throw me out the walls.
she's part of my crew. They are not allowed to throw her out.
And on second hand, last time I was here, I went missing. So it's a
Well,
bit.
Did you ever find yourself?
Well, that's a bit of a deep question for right now. Let's get into the trade house.
Let's get this over and done with. I don't like sequence.
Whatever we do together.
All right, let's go then. Don't know, did you make an announcement about it?
Maybe we should talk about it a bit more.
no. Snow
We can
just,
stay here for 3 days if you want to.
Snow just saunters off.
Oh, we're going this way. Come on, Yorick.
Let's go.
Yep.
As you walk up to the trading post, you notice this is the third trading post that you've been encountering. This one is large. It's larger than the other two, the one in Giffield that you saw as well. It's more ornate. The main hallway has what looks to be a marble floor with large columns at the side with rooms leading off either side, and in the centre is a round raised desk where
Sorry, Chaz. I was going to say, on the way in, can I have a look out for like their bulletin board as such, like all the others have had outside with all of the, and just have a look in general what's on there, and just to see if there is anything on there about us or bounties as such.
Make a quick investigation check because you know where the board is going to be. It's in the same place in every.
No, it's a
I'm
long
actually going to join
shot.
him on that.
No, it's a long shot, but any sign of Danik.
Make a perception check. Do you mean Derek?
Derek, yeah, sorry.
21.
21. Okay. Looking quickly across the board as everybody seems to be wandering into the building, you see there are several notes about your group, descriptions of you all, wanted for questioning in regards to the disappearance of the Chenery and its crew. So yeah.
Okay.
That's basically it. Just is a post saying that the following people are persons of interest in the case of the missing boat, the Chenery, and the death of its crew.
Okay.
That same notice board on a 17. Any thieves' marks?
17. No. Which is odd. This is the first notice board you've come across that does not have those marks.
I got 15.
15. What are you looking for? You're looking for
Derek.
Derek, aren't you? Nope. Nowhere to be seen. So, as you walk into the building, you can see there is a heavy guard presence here. There are, just on a first glance, at least 6 armed guards in this building. In the centre on this round desk is a large, slightly overweight female orc. Looks as though she's not been keeping up the practice of weapons, etc. She's a little older, sort of greyish, just sort of brown to greyish hair. And looks up as you approach. So, visitors to the trading post, how can we help you? No, nobody wishes to talk to me today.
Are you a one? I like you.
You are very short.
I know, you're very beautiful.
Well, thank you very much. I like you. You're very nice. Anyway, what can we do for you, sir?
I was given to understand you wanted to speak to us in relation to the Chenery and...
Please, just, and she sort of makes a gesture, and several guards come up behind you. She says, sorry, 1 second. The Master of Contracts, Legis, will see you immediately. If you go, these fine young gentlemen will escort you to his chambers in the back. In around there are 8 tieflings, and there's roughly sort of 5 tieflings, 3 orcs, various builds, but all seem to be fairly fit, very well armoured, very well armed. It looks as though they look after their weapons. These are not just for show, these are actual proper guards. Almost soldier-like.
Gus is a bit besotted. He's never seen a female orc before, and he's quite smitten.
Noted. But she gestures behind her, and the guards say, "This way, please. We will take you to the ledges." Do you wish to go with them, or are you going to resist?
I'll follow Snow's lead, basically, here. It's his
Following
domain.
Snow's lead.
Snow will
This is more Redport than I've ever seen before.
Yeah. Snow will turn to Miette and sign. Keep an eye out. And then turn and follow.
Okay. So, you are marched up to a set of double doors, one of which is opened for you, and you are gestured to go inside. As you walk in, this is a very plush, carpeted office. It's quite large. There's a large, dark wooden desk with a leather top on it, and a lamp off to one side, a bunch of papers, and behind the desk is a tall, bald tiefling. His skin is very dark red, his eyes are bright yellow, He has a pair of half-moon spectacles on the end of his nose and two horns that come straight up and almost forward to a point. He looks up at you. Well, welcome, my friends. Please, bring these people seats. There's no need to be rude about this conversation. How is there? You would be Mr. Snow on the riverbank, is that correct?
Snow will do.
Very well. Just for the records, you understand. Snow on the riverbank. Okay. And we have some other peoples here. Some dwarven fellows. How very interesting. And while he's talking to you, the guards are bringing comfortable chairs for you all to sit in. That will be all. Thank you. Please wait outside.
Thank you very much. That's most civilized of you.
We do try to be civilized, even if there is a, shall we say, someone who should not be in the city here in our midst.
Yeah, she's far too busy admiring whatever decorations on the wall to have
There are lots
that comment at all.
Lots of interesting paintings. There are bookcases with what look to be interesting, shiny objects on them, worth quite a lot of money, you would imagine.
Touching everything that's too large to Pam, but in a very obvious manner of, look, I'm touching your stuff.
You are... No need to worry, young miss. Please take a seat with your companions.
I'll start the night off good and proper, Chad. Weird question. The chairs which have been bought.
Yes. Oh no.
So they either look
I'm not. Bloody chair.
They look like normal chairs. They have no resemblance to any of the thrones or chairs what have come up in the temples where we've been.
Make a perception check.
He's got a chair fitted that one.
Certainly has.
So, yeah.
I may have done that to him by putting these chairs around.
You've conditioned him well.
I have.
14.
14. These look like sturdy wooden chairs with two sort of curved arms, plush cushioning on the base and the back, and even a small amount of cushioning on the arms as well. They just look like very comfortable wooden chairs.
Can I ask a slightly more sane question?
Of course, please do.
Am I familiar with this guy? Do I know who this guy is?
Make a quick intelligence check. DC's fairly low because you kind of know everybody of import here.
Intelligence 13.
13. Yeah. You do know Legis, or Legislature, as his full name is. He has been the master of contracts here for a number of years now. He is known for being incredibly fair, just, honest, and won't just blindly follow the law. He will think about it first. But yes, you do know him. So, once we are all seated, would anybody care for some refreshment? I can do some lemonade or some...
Can we just get down to this? I don't like being accused of the murder of one of my closest and oldest friends.
Of course. No. Okay. So, very well. You are not exactly accused of murder. You are wanted in relation to questioning.
Then perhaps your colleague in Dar...
Now, I must hold my hand up, sorry. You asked me to get on with things, but you try to interrupt me.
My
So
apologies.
you can all ask your questions, or you can listen to what I have to say first, and then
Carry on.
we can go with the questions. How does that sound?
Good enough.
Marvelous. So, you are wanted in connection with the disappearance of the Chenery and the subsequent finding of her captain and crew murdered on an island which you have given an account of you escaping from via what exactly means we don't know. You escaped, you reported the Chenery missing, you also reported the sinking of another ship, and yet we go to where you say the captain and crew were, and they are all dead, horribly murdered. So, a couple of questions, if I may. You left the island how? The ruins of the boat were found. How did you remove yourselves from this island?
We went further into. Well, we ended up on the island following the sinking of the Chenery. Mikkel and the rest of the crew were gathering firewood and getting a small camp set up. We went further into the cave that was on the island and ended up in a, I suppose you would call it a temple of sorts. We found some sea elves in there and they attacked us. And following this, we got stuck. Anybody else want to take this?
Well,
he's got a quill and he's making notes as you speak.
Bill, we should note that the Chenery was...
Just one moment, please. Miss Vernoth, bear with me 1 second while I note your name down here. Okay,
I flinched
carry on.
visibly saying that.
I do apologize. Please carry on. I am not as quick as I used to be with the pen.
It should be stated that the Chenery was sunk from an attack by the sea elves, which I have been told seems unusual, but they were
so
cutting into the
forgive
base.
me. You say that the Chenery itself was sunk before you got to the island.
Correct.
Yes.
Now that is very interesting. Okay. Please continue.
We went down into the cavern, as Nell described, to investigate it, and found further sea elves that attacked us. It seemed to be some kind of temple, and inside there seemed to be some kind of magic. I couldn't describe it exactly to you.
No, do try, though.
There was
need to make notes so that when I pass this information back to the magistrate, that they have the full story.
We found a strange gemstone, I believe it was, and that seemed to almost transport us to a temple of some kind.
I see.
Another one.
Another temple.
After
This would be after the first one you went into?
Yes.
In the cave?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Do continue.
Well, it was more like we were transported to the temple proper rather than another temple.
I see. So what you're saying is the cave led you into a temple proper where you were transported magically to the temple proper. I see. I understand. Well, I hear what you're saying. I'm not necessarily understanding, but I hear it.
It was very trippy.
Strange story, but...
It's a very old temple, dedicated to a child of Zenariel.
Okay, so sorry, once more, let me note down who is now speaking. So, we have, let me just, sorry, bear with me 1 second. So, you are Mr. Scalebane, are you not?
My name's Fergus Scalebane, but you can call me...
Fergus Scalebane. And you... I only know you as a Celeste. I don't know your full name. May I have it, please?
Daoine.
Daoine. Okay, Daoine. I assume that is spelled D-A-O-I-N-E. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Fine elven name, if a little bit unknown to me at this time. Sorry, do apologize. Please continue.
The temple was under the ocean and was dedicated to a child of Zanariel.
Child of Zanariel?
I now believe it to have been dedicated to a god that was formerly worshipped named Pelodas.
Pelodas. Okay, that is very interesting. Okay. And I'm assuming this will lead me, or lead you, to tell me exactly how you escaped from this
Well, you
temple,
wanted the full
island.
story.
I did indeed, yes. This is where we're going to. This is good. All background is good.
Strange magic of the temple seemed to lead us through. It was some form of planar magic, I think, as we seemed to enter into a cavern that took us through the hells, though I am not certain on that.
It was almost like a stairway above them,
Yes.
looking down upon them.
And upon exiting, we found ourselves coming out of a hillside on the opposite side of the river to the city of Dar.
I see.
And it was a week later.
A whole
We
week.
had lots of time.
Interesting. Okay, so unfortunately for you, Miss Vernoth, you will have to go to in front of the magistrate. Whilst the story you have told me seems, on the face of it, a little weird, the timeline does match up. Unfortunately, the wreck of the Chandlery was found on the island itself. The bodies of the captain and crew were found stabbed, mutilated.
Oh, the sea elves, because they're the ones that attacked us.
Yes, quite. There is no evidence that we have found so far to state that any attack on the Chandlery was initiated from outside of the boat.
Well, that was weird because they were bashing on the bottom trying to get in.
There was no damage to the bottom of the boat apart from where it had hit the rocks on the island. One would almost say it was deliberately run aground.
That's really weird. I don't remember that happening.
That sounds
Indeed,
a lot as though someone was trying to frame us.
It certainly does, because this does not align with the story you have just told me. But, unfortunately, I am not the magistrate. I can make a recommendation.
Can I ask a question?
Of course you may.
Was Mikkel found with his spinel?
He was not. Do you have it?
I took it from the body of a bounty hunter.
You do have it.
And Snow takes it out.
Now, you see, the smart thing to do would have been to lie.
Now,
No,
Mr.
it
Legislator,
wasn't, because
I
haven't
would
done
like
anything
to
wrong.
interject here that due
Miss
to other...
Vernoth, unfortunately, you're... No, sorry, no, go ahead, go ahead. Let us have the conversation.
Due to other circumstances that no doubt you have heard about, we aren't the most quiet traveling group.
Indeed not.
We
He
are.
pointedly looks at both of the dwarves.
We have found ourselves under the targeting of several bounty hunters, including one half-elf by the name of Derek, who operates from one of the temples out of Dar.
I see.
These Spinel were found on the bodies of said bounty hunters after they came after us and we defended ourselves.
I must say, they were already dead, but they were moving. And we killed them again, and they were moving again. And it was really weird, because they said they were dead. Because they were dead, but they were still alive.
Now, sir, you are a reasonable man, and I can understand that this story sounds quite insane. And trust me, we have had some of the most harrowing month that I can imagine. And I promise you, upon my heart, that we were not responsible for the deaths of Mikkel and the crew of the channel.
My job in this whole affair is to get your side of the story, to try to understand what you have been doing in your own words, so that we can approach the magistrate. Because you have come to Redport, the trial will be here in Redport. The magistrate is
I have a
possibly...
question.
Yep.
Do I know who the magistrate is?
You're about to find out.
Okay.
The magistrate is no, where's it gone? Sorry.
I think we were all deeply saddened when we heard about the crew of the Chenery and Mikkel. They were very kind and gracious people.
I'm sure
they will be sorely missed.
Indeed, they will. So,
I've had a great idea. Look, Yorick, here, my cousin, he always writes everything down. So you'll have all the information you need written in his notebook.
That is very helpful. Thank you so much. As I was saying, the magistrate should be known to you, Miss Vernoth, is one Helmar Draust. You know the name Helmar Draust. He is the person that you were betrothed to.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
The one that you gave him his lovely scar across his face.
I visibly recoil hearing that name.
Once again...
Melissa?
I can see from your reaction you remember Mr. Draust.
I fear that this judgment may be biased on account of my previous interactions with the gentleman.
Oh, really? I do not understand. I'm sorry. I do not know of any previous interactions between you both.
I assume that Mr. Draust still has the scar upon his cheek.
He has a scar, yes. This is a dueling scar. He has been telling everyone for years this is a dueling scar.
Before I forsook my family name,
Yes.
several reasons. I was betrothed to Mr. Droust.
Oh, really? Ah, I see.
I did not take kindly to this, and I think, and I'll pull off one of my rings and say, I believe it was this ring that gave him that scar.
Ah.
So I fear that this may end up being a biased decision on his part.
He tries to keep it from you, but he just smiles a little bit too long, as if he quite enjoys that story. So, as you and Mr. Droust have a history, perhaps coming to Redport was a very bad move on your part, because unfortunately, having received you here and interviewed you, I am bound by the law to hand you to the magistrate for sentencing.
Even if it is not going to be a fair trial and it
Well,
is going to be
this
biased
is what I
and
am trying to
misconstrued,
work out. Is there a better way of doing this, we wonder?
Well, surely, right, we can just use it.
The other Mr. Scalebend, hello.
Hello, yes, sorry,
You would be Mr. Yorick Scalebend, is that correct?
That's me, yes, yes, sir.
Marvelous. Sorry, continue, please.
Well, surely someone can just cast a bit of magic in which they can tell if we're lying or not. It's quite simple.
This is very true.
Yes, it is very true indeed. Unfortunately, I do not possess this talent.
Surely there is somebody with that talent in this city.
I'm absolutely certain of it. So, it will be, I think, despite the presence of Mr. Droust, I think we should be able to determine the truth, as you say. If you will willingly submit to this spell, as you say, that can determine the truth, then this should be a very short affair. According to your side of the story, this is what has happened. You are innocent of all the charges. So,
if I may, sir, Florian Winchester.
Mr. Winchester, yes, of course.
Just to add, and I know a lot's been said and a lot seems very unbelievable, and we're not exactly, like you said, the quietest of companions traveling. But does it not seem a bit weird that we would ask how the crew of the Chenery were as soon as we got back to Dar, and put ourselves in this predicament?
As I did state, my job here is to hear your side of the story. I am not a judge. I merely am acting on behalf of the trading post and the victims, the Chenery family, and the Trading Waters clan trading. Because without the Trading Waters clan, the trading post is no more. Do you
Indeed, I completely appreciate that.
The ramifications of, especially young Mr. Snow, if he is found guilty, even by association, of this crime? The political ramifications for the trading throughout this side of the world are enormous. The Tabaxi would be up in arms.
Well, that's fine then, because he's innocent.
Well,
so worry.
Exactly. So what we can do.
This coin gets them up in arms. Wouldn't be the first time. Besides, I haven't done anything wrong, so it's not going to come to that, is it?
Well, quite. I was just making the point that my job is not to judge.
I appreciate that.
Is to hear unbiased the story that you wish to put forward.
You've been kind and you've listened to us, but I would be more comfortable if you could bring somebody capable of performing that spell here, because I don't trust this magistrate.
No.
Especially given his association with her.
Exactly. Unfortunately, the law states that, having listened to your side of the story, whether I believe it or not makes no difference. I have recorded it. I have listened to it. I will act within the law. We will attempt to apply the law correctly and fairly. As you say, the history between Mr. Droust and Miss Vernoth should be taken into account in this case.
I have enough knowledge of the legislature in each of these towns to know that the law is bent when it suits, and if you have enough gold.
Well, I take exception. The legislature is my name, not my job. That is my name.
We'll state
The
Snow. The
Master of Contracts is my job. I am acting in behalf of the trading posts to hear your story. I do not apply the law, I move within the confines of it. The magistrate will hear the case, will decide, and we will move on. I think in this case, your suggestion of I believe it's called a zone of truth spell, I will recommend this as because of the history between Miss Vernoth and Mr. Droust. I think this is fair and well within the confines of the law. So, what I would advise now is that you either stay aboard your ship, although that may be uncomfortable, as I understand it is not a covered vessel. We have some rooms here that you may stay in. Or of course, you are free, well, some of you are free to go about the town and maybe stay at the inn. But I would recommend probably not that. But it is entirely up to you.
Can we go to the inn and then come back later?
Come back here, you mean? Or come back to your ship?
You said there were places to stay.
I can make some rooms available for you, should you wish. This is not a hostelry.
I think we should take legislature's sensible offer and remain here until all of this is sorted out. Mr. Legislator is a wise and just man.
If we stay here, can we send out for some beer then?
Yeah, just want a few beers.
Of course, I will arrange for some refreshments to be brought to you.
Oh, well, that's fine then. Thank you very much.
You are most welcome.
I am gonna go and check on the ship.
Those are very impressive horns, by the way.
Well, thank you. They are part of me. You have a very impressive beard.
Oh, thank you. I know it's better than his, isn't it?
I cannot say. I am not a judge of beards, but looking at them, if I had to pick one, I think I would
stands behind the dwarves and just goes.
Nope. Mine's definitely better.
I think I would have to pick Mr. Yorick's beard. It is the braids are just a smaller, just a little bit longer and more lush, I think. But that is merely an opinion. As I said, I am not a judge of beards.
No, I'm not.
You should be. You've got great choice, great taste.
So, I will arrange for 2 rooms would be sufficient. The rooms are quite large, or you wish to stay in 1 room? I don't know.
I'm gonna go to the ship. I don't trust the rest of my kin not to burn it.
Very well. I will see to it that you hit at some signal that you hadn't noticed. The door opens behind you, and there are a couple of guards just sort of looking at you. Please, Mr. Snow, do what you wish to do with your ship.
Thank you.
These gentlemen would go with you just for your safety.
If I may, legislator?
Call me Legis.
Of course.
I understand my full name is a little unwieldy.
I'm not sure if it would make much difference, but I believe we were of significant help to a small town called Larkham. So if you were looking for any judge of our character outside of here, then maybe consulting with them might help.
Oh yeah, we're called the heroes of Larkham.
Are you now? Wow, this
Yeah,
is...
they don't even let us pay for beer there.
I would also request that some aid is sent their way. They had fallen under the spell of quite a nasty creature that had come out of the nearby forest that we slew and managed to keep.
Okay. And the mayor of Larkham is who?
Name. She told us her name.
She did.
She did tell us her name.
I need to find it in my notes.
Is this a notes race?
I look at everybody who hasn't looked down and flicking through pages, who obviously doesn't take notes.
Gwyn.
Gwyn. Mayor Gwyn. Okay, and he is a... She is the mayor of Larkham, and she will be able to vouch for you. This is very good. You should have mentioned this earlier.
I wasn't sure.
There will be a gentleman in the blacksmith called Klein as well.
Klein the blacksmith. Okay.
I just think they all went crazy. They'll be calling it Larkham Asylum before long.
Jesus Christ, man.
Well, why do you think I named it that? Come on, Fiddy, keep up. So, Snow, you get escorted out of the building back to the pier. There are 2 guards coming with you. Don't say very much, they don't really talk at all. They're just attentive and they look around. They're not pushing you or shoving you, they're just with you.
Yeah.
I said, almost like an escort. They're not there to see you don't run off. They are, it would appear, alert and attentive.
Yeah. Snow is sort of wouldn't run off anyway because his reputation is on the line. But he's basically comporting himself in the way that would be expected. But he's still got that sort of saunter and that swagger.
Yep. Right. You get back down to where you left the Relair Fang. Still there. Just gently bobbing in the water.
Yeah.
Hasn't moved an inch away from where you left it.
I thought as much.
Nobody seems to have touched it. Nobody seems to be going anywhere near it. People are going out of their way, walking around the far side of the dock to not be near it.
Yeah, that's fine. He's just going to drop down into it and pull out sort of a blanket ready for later. But he's just going to sort of nest him down in the bow of the boat and just watch the stars.
Okay. So the 2 guards get comfortable, lean up against some hitching posts, just start watching, making sure nobody's coming to bother you. So while that's happening, the rest of you are shown to a large room. There are sofas, chairs, there is a large table upon which there's a whole load of fruits, breads, cheeses. You get the impression that this is stuff that was that would normally be put out for meetings. So it's quite tasty, but it's not overly complicated. It's finger food stuff, you know. It's just like there are goblets of wine there. There is water there, and there is a small cask of ale.
Before any doors are shut or any guards are their attention is taken away from us, as if to make point outside the rooms, Florian would just ask for some clean bandages, if that were possible.
What are they? Yes, certainly, sir. I will bring some up.
Thank you ever so much.
Would you like some help in redoing your bandages?
Yeah, I think it'd be a bit safer and a bit easier. Thank you, Celeste.
Of course.
Are we in a window room?
You are not. It's an internal room.
Damn it.
We go straight to the table and start eating and have a beer.
Okay.
Of course, pour one for Yorick as well.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The beer is a dark amber, almost red colour. It's very thick. There's a sort of creamy, foamy head on it.
Oh, that's nice.
One thing I did forget to say, as he was walking down, Snow would have the pendant, the amulet, on full show, just hanging on the front of his leathers.
Fair enough. So yeah, this beer is very nice indeed.
Not dwarven beer, but it's near.
Not dwarven beer, no.
No.
I will nervously sit and just pick at the food.
Fair enough. Food's very nice.
Yeah, I think Florian will do the same and take some water until the bandages turned up, and then.
It doesn't take a few minutes. Somebody brings fresh linen bandages up for you.
Are there any mirrors in the room?
Yes, there are. There's a large mirror across a fireplace.
I think I'd after getting the bandages. Celeste, I'm just gonna do it now if you want to.
Of course.
But Florian would kind of walk over to the fireplace where the mirror is, and then take his jacket and then shirt off, and just slowly, obviously, take it off because he knows that it's not healing as it should. And when it's off, he'd just kind of look at the mirror and look at this, just so we can just take another look at it. And
okay, so as you peel off the bandages, they do stick, and it is sore, and you can see this pattern of these hearts all round into your chest or to the top of your stomach. It looks raw, red, angry, and as you move without the bandages, you can just feel it start to weep again as the blood starts to trickle down. It's not healing at all.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we should cauterize it. If it's not healing, fire usually works.
It's an option.
I think the wounds are more magical in nature. I don't think cauterizing will make a difference in this case.
Yeah, I don't think cutting Florian into 4 pieces will help.
Now, I can't remember if I've tried this or not.
What, cutting them into 4 pieces?
No, I'm talking to the DM. Shush.
Definitely remembered that.
Whether I've tried doing Dispel Magic on Florian.
You have.
Okay. I thought I had, but I couldn't find it.
And you
to
recall
double check.
it was one of those, the magic had been applied to him, but it's no longer there. It's something that happened.
Okay, that's cool. So I'll clean him up as best I can, considering he's still, not really healing.
Yeah, as long as he stands still and lets you sort of pat the wound down with some water cloths, it seems to stop bleeding. But there's still like open, deep scars.
I know it's hard, Florian, but try not to flex.
I know. Let's just try and get this done so it's on with minimal blood beforehand.
I just want to clean it up because soiled bandages and days of travel are not going to be kind to it either.
Indeed not. You managed to get it. Actually, give me a medicine check, please.
I'd obviously help.
With advantage, because helping by standing still.
22.
22, yeah. No problem. You managed to get him to stand in a position where he's not moving, and you clean it up, bandage it back up, and he gets his shirt and everything back on. And it's eased it somewhat having clean bandages on.
And then I'd go back to the table and take a bit more food and water.
Yeah. You have cleaned his wounds!
Wounds.
Okay.
And if I notice that Snow hasn't come back, I'd make a little care package of food and drink and see if I can be escorted to him to deliver it.
Yeah, one of the guards says, yes, we can get that done for you, no problem. And about 5-10 minutes later, Snow, another guard arrives with a small package or some, what have you put in it?
Some fruits and some meats and probably a little note saying from Celeste in her floaty curly handwriting just saying, I would assume you would want to stay by the water, but I thought you might be hungry.
Fair enough.
Okay. So
He'll pick at it and sort of politely offer the guards.
they accept. So thank you very much. They just take a few bits each, but not. They leave the majority of it for you.
Fair enough.
But they seem reasonable and polite.
And not falling over with poison.
Definitely not. Well, not so far anyway. So, as the night gets later and later, the lights on the streets. Hello, who do we lose there?
Man.
Martin.
It wasn't me that time.
Yeah,
I
my first
was
instinct was...
confused because you were still there.
My first instinct was, where's Ash gone? No, Ash is still here.
He's had too many beers. He's fallen off his bench.
Yep. Okay, well, I'll continue with the description. Hopefully I'll be back in a second. There you go, see? As soon as I mentioned continuing... Oh, is he back? He is back. Yay, you are back.
Oh,
So,
the computer just had the right spasm.
Oh dear, spasms are not good. Well, unless they're fun
carry
kind. Fun spasm. Ooh. So, as the evening gets later and later...
No, they're not.
No, not a fun spasm. The night draws in, the street lamps illuminate the paved roadways in that sort of beautiful orange that they do, and people are starting to come back from their nights out, revelries, back to their homes, off for a nightcap maybe at one of the lake bars that are open. What would you like to do?
I'm going to have some more drinking until it's finished.
Yep. It's not a large cask, it's just a table mounted cask. You get about, I would say, probably about 8 pints out of it.
That's fine. When that's finished, curl up on a chair and go to sleep.
Fair enough. Yorick? Same? Similar? No? Is he frozen?
Martin?
He's kind of looks like he's frozen and not frozen.
He hasn't got the fan on, we can't tell. Oh, no.
Now we've lost Ash.
We've lost Ash. Oh, he's all
No,
going
Martin's,
really well.
Martin's definitely
Order has been restored.
Martin's definitely gone.
No. Oh no, I saw the
moving.
eyebrows
I saw him move.
Yeah, he's like about a 50-second lag. Oh, there you go, a bit better.
Right, okay, he's moving now. And Ash is back. Well, welcome back.
It's too good to be true.
Okay, so Gus has finished his beer and curled up on a chair and gone to sleep. Yorick. Yorick? No? Wave?
think he's frozen again.
I tell you what.
Let's have a break.
Let's have a quick break. What we're going to do is we're going to have a break and see if we can get Yorick back to his normal mode of communication rather than just sitting still for very long periods of time. Right. So we'll take a quick break. We'll be back in a few minutes. So, welcome back, everyone. Hopefully, we've solved our technical issues. But stand by. We have been in close proximity to role-playing gamers, so we may have caught technical difficulties. Bless them.
Is now a bad time to check if the first half had audio recording?
I'm presuming our audience member in the room would let me know if she couldn't hear any of you.
True.
So, as we were saying just before we left off for our small break, Gus has had a few pints of beer and has curled up into a chair and fallen asleep. Yorick, what was your plan to do likewise?
I was going to spend a little time with the axe.
Okay.
I'll allow it.
I was going to say Trelador was going to stare daggers at him until he spent some time with the axe.
I will join Yorick for a little chat while he's doing it.
Okay. We'll get to that in a minute. Melissa?
I'm that nervously picking at the food.
You're not going to sleep.
I will sleep eventually, but...
Okay, but you're staying up for now. Okay.
Celeste will want to speak to Melissa at some point.
Okay. Florian?
Yeah, Florian would just try and find like a quiet corner, sit down, cross his legs, and just try and clear his mind of everything, because the last time he did try to, it didn't work.
Okay. Make me a... let's have a look. See... yeah, and Elstail has said, yes, I would. So presumably all is well. So, let's see. I would like from you, Mr. Florian, I would like a... I tell you what, let's go with an insight check.
Insight check?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, he doesn't do any of them.
I know, it's very rare.
That's time for a
23.
23. You sit and you still yourself, you center yourself, you calm, empty your mind and go into a state of relaxation. And manage to sit and be. Whilst you're aware of the room, you've managed to block out all sounds, all visuals, and you are at peace in the corner of the room.
I'll spend some time doing that, and once I've kind of centered myself that much, say 5, 10, 15 minutes, I'll kind of come out of that, and then again I'd find one of the sofas or just like get a cushion as a pillow and put it on the floor, fall asleep.
Okay. Miet. What is our lovely Miet up to?
Are there facilities in the room?
There are not, but if you go down the corridor, if you exit the room, there are a couple of guards posted outside, and they look up and say, can we get you something or assist in any way?
I would like to visit the washroom, if I may.
Of course. If you go down there, it's the door at the end of the corridor you can see from here.
So now knowing that, Miette is going to spend the night alternating between napping in front of the fire, finding all sorts of hidden places that she can carve Miette was here and thieves speak all over the room, and bothering the guard for something approximately every 40 minutes.
Okay. They don't follow you to the bathroom. They let you go to the washroom by yourself.
Yeah, but if all of Redport I'm going to see is like this room, this corridor, I'm going to see as much as possible.
Okay. In the washrooms, which are large and do have a window to the outside world, they are lit again with magical globes that sort of glow soft yellow. But there is a window that looks out over. It seems to be in the back of the trading post, so it looks down onto the city itself.
I'll have to have a look at some there.
Okay. You look out and you can see this weird sort of orangey red glow that seems to cover the entire city. You think that's why the city has got its name. It's because at night it glows that orangey red. Anything else you'd
Nothing
like to do?
targetable in the bathroom, no?
I mean, there are some soaps. Quite fancy.
Might come in useful?
Yeah, you could pick up a couple of fancy soaps. Do anything else?
No, I'm just resigning myself to bothering the guards for the night.
Okay. They get quite used to you popping out throughout the night. And what can we get for you this time?
There are no red apples left. Can I have a red apple, please?
Of course, we will see to it immediately.
And then 2 hours later, can you exchange 3 red apples for green apple, please?
Awesome. Make me a persuasion check, please.
Non-natural 20.
Yeah. You managed to keep these guards running to and fro all night on spurious errands. If you want to try to convince them to let you go somewhere else in the building, you can try a persuasion check if you wish. Actually, that was a persuasion check, wasn't it?
That was a persuasion check.
And you got a 20. So you can, if you want to, they'll take you and show you where they're getting the different foodstuffs from. They take you to the kitchens where all manner of stuff is being prepared. The night shift looks as though it's busy. The chefs are in cooking for the next day. It's again down in the basement, and there is a sort of flight of stairs at the back of the kitchen that leads up to a, you know those, what are they called now? The cellar doors that are built that open the two up onto the street. The sort of ones that are at an angle.
Don't know the name, know what you mean.
Yeah. But there's a set of those at the back of the kitchen that you can see. And the guards say, this is the kitchens where all the stuff happens and we get for you. And they take you back upstairs again. So, whilst all that is going on, and Miette is just being an absolute pain to anybody she can find, we'll talk to Yorick and Trellador. What is it you wish to do, the pair of you, apart from sit and stare at the axe?
So, do you want to come on in again? Or shall I go solo tonight?
No, we'll do this. I spoke to him the other night. I mean, he's probably talks to you a lot as well. He says
yeah, I know everything.
He says I should get to know you. So go on then.
Go on then.
Well, tell me about yourself. I'm interested.
Are you sure? Because I could go on for a while.
Maybe give me the condensed version. I mean, I just need to tick that I've done this, and then I can go back to him and say I've done this. So
I don't know how to condense. I mean, I've got the version where it's like yeah, I was a dwarf. I did my job for a while, and then I left, and now I'm here. That's kind of the condensed version, but I don't suppose that really tells you much, does it?
I don't know. Might do, but I suppose I should.
Or I could go right down into 47 winters ago. I was born, and
maybe closer to the shorter version.
Closer to the short version.
How long have you known Briox for?
How long have I known him for?
Hmm.
The whole lot went for a bit.
Is it back?
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's a little difficult to say. I suppose there's two answers to that. The first being, I've known him all my life. I've always talked to him. It's just what we did. But I suppose there's the other answer of not very long at all. It's not since Gus and I left the mountains that I've actually started talking directly to him. I guess I'm doing important things.
He said something about forever, but he was quite rambling.
Something about forever.
Mm.
Yeah, well, like, as far as forever for me, from my perspective, is I've known him forever.
And
is that what you meant?
I don't really know, to be honest. I'm just, I'm doing what I was
Who can
told.
understand the will of God, eh?
Well, one day I will.
Sure.
So, when did you get your power? Did you have to go to school, or did you just wake up one day and you went, "There you go"?
I suppose I should tell you a little bit about the culture of the dwarves.
Is it really necessary?
If you've got the time, of course.
Go for it. I am your humble student.
So, most dwarves live in the sea, in Daghold. And they do all the normal things that normal creatures do. And they go to school and they learn and they become shoesmiths or whatever shoe people are and all that sort of stuff. But there are a few clans, right, that like Gus and I are from, kind of just sort of roam the countryside and doing the monster hunting. And we stay there most of the time. Occasionally we go back. Usually we go back to the city when we're so chocker full of loot that we've got to go back to offload it. We can't keep carrying it around. So I didn't really go to school. I sort of grew up within my family clan, the Scalebane clan. And that's where I learned everything. And I suppose I've had some power for most of that time. It was just sort of part of me upbringing to speak to Reorcs and to try things. Because everyone in our clan's got their little role to play. There's always healers and blacksmiths, and there's fighters and scouts like Gus, and dragon hunting, dragon slayers are the most prized job of anyone in my civilization. They're heroes back in the sea. So that's kind of what it's like.
See, I have a innate ability, as I've demonstrated, but
yeah. What, your angriness?
It's more than that. I have magical ability. Not as much as you or Celeste, but there is something in there. I need help controlling it.
All right. I can try and help. Reorcs will try and help, I'm sure.
Okay, and just talking about time frame here, how long will this take? Is it something we could do tonight, for instance?
You want me to unlock your hidden potential in a night?
Yes.
It's not quite that simple, mate.
I thought he was a god. Can't he do anything?
I'm certain that he could if he wanted to.
You're contradicting yourself. You're saying he's powerful, but he's not powerful enough to do this.
No, I'm saying he absolutely, definitely could do it, but he's not going to.
I suppose Snow did say I should be patient and...
Because what's power without wisdom, eh? I can be quite smart sometimes, can't I?
Well, best of a bad bunch, really. And I gesture around to the rest of the group.
The only one of which who is asleep
Yeah.
is Gus, so everybody else can hear you.
I don't care.
Apart from possibly Florian, because Florian's asleep as well.
Well,
the point is that it's important to grow and learn as your power grows.
but I haven't got any of the power yet. Surely you need a little bit first, and then, I want a taste of it. See whether I like
Let's
it.
see. What's your power level compared to your maturity? Because I think they're about similar.
So do I. So do I. I think they're similar as well. I am very powerful. In different ways, but...
Yes. Well, I've certainly seen.
He hasn't given me anything yet. He keeps giving me things to do, and I understand that I have to grow and learn, and like Snow said, I have to be patient and have to work at these things, but I need to have a taste of it to know whether it's worth it.
I don't mean to overhear, but
Of course you don't.
You say you haven't been given anything, but what have you given in return?
I'm talking to Yorick. I'm having conversations with people. I'm not a very chatty person normally, Celeste. I mean, I think I've said more in the last couple of weeks than I have my whole bloody life.
I will look up and look over at Trellador. So say to him, darling, if you're looking to get into faith for power, then you're looking to get into faith for the wrong reason.
Anyone else got an opinion on me and Yorick's private conversation we're having?
Gus will fart.
Yes, private conversation should be had quieter.
But if you're looking for advice, then that's what I'd give. Don't actively seek out power. I mean, I have powers that I've gained from what I've done. I didn't ask for them. I went into faith because it was something I wanted to do. I wholeheartedly believe in love and the powers that holds in itself. If you're seeking power out just for the sake of power, then of course this Reorx isn't going to give it to you because you're in it for the wrong reason.
Yes, I've had this lecture before, and I've reflected on that. I've learned.
Have you?
That's for me to know, isn't it? I'm just asking about timescales. I don't think I'm being unrealistic here. If I'm going to commit to this and it's going to take 30 years, I'll find something else to do. But if it's going to be, say, next Wednesday, I'll stick with it.
Oh, now you've upset him.
Oh, no.
I think, Trellador, it will take as long as it needs to for you to gain understanding into what it is exactly you want and need from this.
All I'm doing, and I mean this wholeheartedly, is I'm doing this for the benefit of the group. If I have more power, I can protect you all, and you're all very important to me.
I say this respectfully, but from what we've heard, you're doing this for you.
I'm sorry, but I want to insight the fuck out of that.
I am part of the group as well, Melissa.
Okay. Insight check from Celeste.
Oh, fuck, I rolled a 2.
No, absolutely bang on, spot on true. You've never felt more sure of anything in your life.
Can I just say, though, in Trellador's defence, that every time a conversation comes up, we don't need everyone jumping on his back about things.
I understand.
We're kind of trapped in this room, and we can't really sneak off and go have a quiet conversation. We were just having a little
fun. If you want, the guards are very amenable.
I'm sure. Well, I'm going to stay put.
I think that's very well said, Yorick.
I hope you're sleeping really well, Gus. I am.
Farts.
My apologies for the intrusion, but Trellador is not always easy to tune out, especially when he's making insults towards us.
When have I insulted you?
You literally just said that we weren't very an intelligent bunch, so...
No, I said you weren't wise. Weren't you listening? Okay, I see your point. Maybe that was a bit rude.
But I apologise for the interruption.
Apology accepted. Thank you.
We shall go and sit on the other side of the room. You two have your conversation and listen
could sit outside the
carefully
door
to
if you
what Yorick
wanted.
has to say.
I will, Mother. Thank you very much.
I hope you find what you're looking for, though, Trellador.
I hope I find it soon. That's the real question.
Well, that will depend on you.
I don't think so. I think it depends on Yorick and Reorx, to be honest.
I just
So-
shake my head and go and sit on the other side of the room.
It's not just me, is it? You know, you'd tell me if I was being rude, Yorick, wouldn't you?
I have told you when you've been rude.
I know, but I just thought you were, being awkward then.
I can be awkward. Anyway, should we take this to the higher place?
Okay. Do you want to summon him, or do you want me to do it?
Again, we don't summon him. He's the god. We ask if he's free for a chat, and he obliges if he is free.
Maybe you should take the lead on this one then.
Okay, I think that's smart.
I will be the good student.
I hope so. No. Lay the axe out across both of our laps and begin the normal communicative prayer.
Okay. Give me a. Give me a religion check.
I should be good at these.
You should.
But my intelligence is shit. Yeah, and then I rolled a 5, so 6.
6. You don't know whether it's the conversation that's just happened or the fact that Trellador is helping you, but you don't seem to be able to get in the right frame of mind for this evening. It just eludes you. Whether it's just because you're in this trouble as well here, that you're all going to be on trial, but it's the connection doesn't seem to be working today for whatever reason. Reorx doesn't appear to answer.
I can't seem to get hold of him.
What do you mean?
I don't know what it is. Maybe, like I said, I tried to contact him, and maybe he doesn't want to, and he's not talking back. Or maybe I just can't quite. It's up if you want to try.
Well, I mean, I've only been following him, trialing him for a few weeks now, and he's never failed to appear when I call him.
Good save.
Learning, growing. Okay. Reorx, you there?
Make a religion check.
Watch him get a natural 20 now.
Yeah.
17.
17. You clear your mind. Think about the times when you've called to Reorx before. You do the same. And you hear a strange noise. Hi! Sorry, Ryorks is unavailable just at the moment. I've got a bit of a plague to clear up. Don't worry, your prayers and thoughts are very important to us. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. Please leave your name.
Oh, beep. Hi, Ryorks. It's thank you for coming. As you can see, we're working on the axe. I mean, Yorick just tried to, talk to you, and you were busy. But I'm glad you're here now, and I'll wait sort of 10 seconds to
Click.
and then I'll go. Yes, I get your point. Yeah, I mean, I am working really hard at this, but can you hear him as well, Yorick? Or is it just me that can hear him?
You heard the voicemail message.
Oh, okay. I did. Okay.
Yeah.
But I didn't hear it. I didn't know that you knew that.
No. Well, you don't know if it's just yourself that can hear it, or if anybody else can hear it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know you're busy. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'll tell him. Yes. Okay. Yes. That's fine. Yes. Well, I'll carry on, and we'll talk another night. But thank you for attending me. I know you're very busy, and I know you can't, be with everyone. But I'll speak to you again soon. Bye. Well, I didn't have any problems. Yorick?
I got that. Yeah. Very good.
He's a bit busy. He's a bit busy tonight, though.
Yeah, the chat.
I let him go.
Role-playing gamers, hi, thank you for joining us. An answering machine has terrifying implications for the Pantheon. Yeah, kind of. And 1-800 dialer god. Yeah, no, I can see that. Yeah. So yeah, without any kind of answer from the Ryorks, it doesn't seem that you're having any assistance with this tonight. So it's just a standard. You still get it done, but there's no interplay with Ryorks tonight.
Cool.
Apparently, I'm a bit quiet. Oh, okay. Let me see if I can just do something about that. Bear with me 1 second. Let's just turn me up a bit. Hold on.
There we go.
Let's just turn. Let's. Oh, no, on that one. How's that doing? Is that better? Right. Okay. So carrying on. So while this conversation is occurring, I believe Celeste and Melissa were going to have a little chat over the other side of the room.
Melissa, I just wanted to make sure that you were okay. You seemed a bit perturbed when we were talking to Legis.
Yeah, well. Let's just say that Droust was my version of what you've got going on right now. Though he never quite went to the point of, lectures, man. But I just fear that I've gotten us into more trouble by being here again.
I think trouble seems to follow us no matter where we go.
Yeah, but a lot of it seems to be tied to me at the moment.
I don't think that's necessarily true.
All the stuff going on with Vale and now this. We would have had a much easier time if we'd arrived in any other part.
But then you would have had a much easier time if myself and the dwarfs had not fallen into your laps.
That's true. I'm so afraid that me and Florian are... I'm still afraid that me and Florian are a danger to everything. What with all this stuff with Fiona and...
I think we all bring our own dangers. Gus and Yorick have people after them for leaving the mountains. I have somebody after me for running away from them. Miette seems to have a connection of some kind to this strange fog. Trellador is running away from his family, it would seem. The only person that doesn't seem to be running away from something, I think, is Snow. But now it seems like maybe he's running towards something instead.
That I couldn't comment on. I don't feel like I'm in any position to really comment on what Snow's doing, but
He seems happier, though.
I'm not certain. I'm not sure. He's not one. We all are.
He seems very content in the water. I don't think he likes to be away from it from too long.
Everyone has their comfort zone. I imagine that if you were to watch Yorick Smith and be the happiest he would be.
I think Gus is happy as long as he has a pint of something in his hand.
Yeah, that is very true. I'm regretting not asking for a room with ventilation, but
Trellisor seems at least happiest when he's hitting things.
I am worried for him. He's there is kindness in him, but I feel like whatever he's had to deal with is covered a lot of that up. Either way.
I get the feeling that his family had a lot of expectations for him. Maybe he did not meet, and he feels that he needs to get those expectations before he can return home.
I can certainly relate to that first part.
Well, family has a way of doing such things.
Yeah.
I was expected to marry, and until the incident where he struck my sister, I would have done.
See that? That makes a lot more sense than my running away. I did it because I bought in a fantasy. All those stories of heroes and rescues and stuff like that. Of course, he ain't exactly a good person, I wouldn't say, but from when I met.
I knew from the start that he was not a good person, but at the time I would have done almost anything to make my father happy, but that was an impossibility.
I didn't do that much. I wouldn't be surprised if my family's written me off of Dad. Only one of them I got along with, and she got sold off into marriage before me, so. But
I've known some who had arranged marriages that were happy.
I'm sure.
I hope that the same can be said for your sister.
I hope so. But I think family is a weird word. We used to use it to describe everyone at the temple. We was all part of the family. With broken hearts and lost loves.
I like to think that our group, in a way, is a family. Somewhat dysfunctional, of course.
Yeah, we're certainly dysfunctional like a family, which is accurate, but...
And we fight. But I feel the love is there.
Hmm.
Just in some cases, it's a little more deeply buried.
I also can't help but think that we was... I like Destiny. It's an interesting way of seeing the world. But I do feel like all of ours meeting was some kind of destiny, considering all that's happened.
It's not every day I fall through a portal into another world.
True. Yeah. Not every day that we accidentally rise a temple out of the ground. Not every day that we accidentally do that 3 times.
And I suppose around here it's not every day that you bump into a couple of dwarves.
Also true.
Or have a wandering gust and a treading waters be friends.
I was worried that they was gonna, as soon as Miette stepped foot on the stone, she was gonna be picked up and lifted and thrown out.
I like to think we wouldn't have allowed that to happen.
These guards are
As
paid
this
well.
conversation flows on, we're just going to cut across to Snow, lying in the boat, slowly rocking, gentle lapping of the waves against that boat and the other boats that are in the harbour. The sky is clear, the air is crisp, and the red glow is coming off the city. Illuminates your fur as you look up into the sky, and you feel that cool pendant against your fur. You look down and there is that beautiful swirl of blue water inside the trident-shaped pendant, and you can hear the gentle clink of riggings on masts throughout as the boats move in the harbour, and then something violent and loud is a loud crash as the guards spin to turn to look across. You see one of the boats in the harbour start to list dangerously to port side, and it starts to sink. There appears to be a large hole in it, and you can hear a deep, throaty chuckle. Would you like to do anything? The guards sort of look back to you, make sure everything is okay with you, and then look back across. It's on the next pier over. There's boat and there's shouting and there's talking and rushing about as other treading waters tabaxi rush to assist this stricken boat. Do you want to do anything?
No, he's just going to sit up. It's the chuckle.
You do, yeah. It appears to be Paladas.
He's going to focus on the amulet, trying to communicate in the way to be.
I can't hear you, Ash.
Hang on.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, he's come back in.
Yep, that's better.
I wonder why that happened.
Who could possibly tell?
I do wonder. But why?
Again, who knows? Accidents happen on the water all the time. Do they not?
I suppose they do.
Sorry, say again?
I said, did you hear much of happened in there? They are using us.
Sorry, I didn't catch almost any of that. Oh no, we've contracted technical difficulties again.
Yeah, well, that should work now.
Okay, cool. Try again.
Did you find anything out about the deaths on the island?
The deaths were... They're dead. They are no more. They are not living, so therefore they do not matter.
Well, we are being accused of their killing.
That is unfortunate. I'm sure, as you did not kill them, you will be found innocent.
Yes.
Won't you?
In theory. Unless...
You'll be fine.
And may I just add that having this bot here with what the story that my people were told, and then that happening, doesn't really foster
I mean,
good relations.
it's kind of spooky, isn't it?
I do have to admit it does lend some credence to the fact that this is the boat of woe.
The woe boat, as it were. Ah, Snow, you are truly wonderful.
Perhaps we can get out on the water again soon, eh? And deal with this first.
You don't hear any reply. Across the pier, you can see the people have been dragged out of the water. The boat has sunk almost out of sight now. You just see the mast sticking up as it's just going slowly under the waters. There's much wailing and gnashing of teeth as they explained that the cargo had yet to be unloaded.
Snow just stands on the pier with the amulet squarely out on his chest, with his hands behind his back, just observing.
Okay. Your guards either side of you, arms crossed, just observing with you. They don't say anything, but nobody is looking at you. Nobody wants to make any eye contact with you at all. Everybody is avoiding the end of the pier that you are on.
And he'll turn and step back into the boat, and just sort of as an offhand comment to the guards, perhaps if they showed more belief in someone like Pelodes, these things would not happen.
I mean, will of the gods and all, got to be it, innit?
Indeed.
Have a
and
good
he'll
night.
just settle back down with a chuckle.
Yeah. They make sure you're safe in the boat and they stand on watch, waiting, guarding you, making sure you're safe. And we'll cut back into the training post room that you are all currently ensconced in. Miette, make me roll me a d6, please.
2.
Okay. Your request for some fish has been granted, and some beautifully prepared and cooked salmon arrives. Is that what you wanted?
This is dead. It should not be dead.
What? But you
No, if you want to eat it, it looks very nice. You should eat it, but this is not how the tabaxi eat fish.
you want a live fish?
Yes. Oh, bring up 2 live fish. I will show you how to eat it properly.
2 live fish.
3 if your friend would like one too.
He sort of looks across at the other guy. Do you? Of course I bloody don't.
It is a delicacy. You'll love it.
Okay. Shuts the door again. About 20 minutes later, the door opens and he's standing there with a bucket. I only got one because there was only one available. Sorry. He sort of puts the bucket
I
down.
understand that. It's fine. But would you like to come in and you can try some?
You know what? I'm just about to go off shift, so that's great and all, but thank you very much for your kindness, but I don't think I really want to. It's not really...
And is your friend going off shift too?
Yeah, we were on shift together, so we're going to go. Okay? Bye.
So is there an overlap?
Yeah,
No?
yeah, the new guards will be here in a second, so we've got to, report and switch over and everything, so just bear with us for 5 minutes and then they'll be there to, sort any your desires out. He shuts the door. You're so mean.
I have to entertain myself without windows.
Well, exactly. Okay. So, are the rest of you going to sleep now? Are you... What's the plan here? Are you setting a watch? Or are you just going to sleep? Or are you just going to stay up all night? Any way you want it.
After speaking to Melissa, Celeste would probably settle down to have her meditation.
Okay. I know Florian and Gus are asleep. Yorick and Trellador have finished their meditations for the evening.
Yeah, I'll go to sleep after that.
Okay.
If everyone else has got, I'll stay up then until someone else wakes up.
Okay. Melissa, I'm assuming you're going to sleep?
Yeah, I'm going to sleep.
Miette? You're doing your
There's
whole...
a whole new
catnap.
watch to torment.
Catnap, annoy the guards, catnap, annoy the guards. Gotcha, right. Good. So this goes on throughout the night of Miette toying with the guards, much like a cat would. Demanding things and then telling them they got the wrong thing and demanding trips to the bathroom, trips to the kitchen, all that sort of thing. If you think of any particular trip you would like to make, please let me know and we'll roll for it and we'll make a special roll.
I'll probably go to Miette at some point and go, you say the Wandering Gusts have a bad reputation?
I can't imagine why.
Nor can I, but it's very entertaining.
Can I get you anything else? I go to the kitchen next time.
Oh, let's wait for them to come back and then we'll send them.
Excellent plan.
Okay. There is a knock on the door. What are they bringing you this time?
A copper kettle.
A copper kettle. Okay. So a new guard, a large, broad, very burly tiefling with he's got one horn that sort of curls back and the other one sort of curls and then stops and it's been broken off. It's got a silver cap on it. He walks in. I brought you your copper kettle as requested.
Thank you. Would you join me in some fish stock tea?
I'm afraid I must decline.
I have a request, please. And I'll wink at Miette, but Trellador doesn't really know how to wink, so it sort of does this double blink at her.
Okay.
Could I have a glass of water, but half a glass, the top half, please?
Sort of looks at you. You think I'm stupid?
Well, you're a guard, aren't you?
Okay, Miette is very quickly going to put a paw on Trellador's hand. My friend has a very specific request. It isn't elven custom.
thought we were joking. That's a joke, isn't it?
Shut up.
Now, Trellador, make a persuasion check with disadvantage because you've asked for something clearly impossible.
Persuasion. 11 minus 1 for 10.
10. You realise the ridiculousness of your request, yes? A glass of water, but the top half.
It was a joke. My friends know me as quite the joker. I'm sorry.
Yeah, funny man. Very funny.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as you make out to me yet.
He sort of gives me a nod and walks out and shuts the door.
I think this one knows the routine already.
Yes. Maybe I'll leave it to you. You seem to be better at this than I am.
I think perhaps having a wandering gust wandering around here is a novelty to them.
It's a novelty for us.
Okay.
I think they have a library here.
A library? Probably.
I have my next request done.
Okay. So you open the door, pop your head round, the same tiefling. Yes, Miss Miette.
Would it be possible to visit the library, please?
The library.
Yes.
Make me a persuasion check. Because you've been trading on that 20 for a while now, so let's have a fresh one.
That was only a 12.
A 12. I think the library will be closed at the moment, though. First thing in the morning, perhaps, when it opens.
That'd be wonderful, thank you.
No
and since I can't read any bedtime stories, would you tell me what happened to your horn?
Of course, there was a... And he sort of stops, looks at you for a minute. I think best a story for a different day.
Oh, so that one will be told to me tomorrow as well as the library trip?
Possibly not.
The next night?
Miss Miette, you are a guest here. I would not wish to upset you.
Oh, you think I will not be a guest here much longer? Will they be upgrading us?
Miss Miette, you are missing the point here, I think. Maybe
Quite deliberately, yes.
Maybe deliberately. For which is very funny. No, I lost my horn, I will tell you. I lost my horn fighting some wandering gusts tabaxi. I killed 4 of them. They took half my horn. I think I won.
You know,
There.
you're right. I will go inside now.
You have the story now. Good night.
Good night.
When the guard's gone, I'll go up to Miette and go, "You're much cleverer than you look." No, I mean that as a compliment. Sorry, let me rephrase that. You have a certain way of manipulating people and getting what you want.
You've only just noticed.
Oh no, I've noticed for a long while, but just noticed how good you are at it.
People like to be amused. And they think that people who do the amusing are simple.
I mean, that was my first impression of you. That you were quite simple. And probably my second and third, to be honest, but people can change.
And in that, do you mean that I have changed or your perception has changed?
Well, that's the question, isn't it?
It's a shame we have no wandering god to call to for you, or you might be more interested in our ways.
Well, if this doesn't work out, I can always try something else, can't I? That's another joke.
You might be an excellent clown. I can see you with cream pie on your face. It is one of our performances. I shall introduce you to it later.
I'm not the best at social interactions, but I must say I find you quite difficult to keep up with sometimes. you, and I mean this in the best possible way. I find you a bit socially exhausting.
Then the performance is working.
Yes.
If you do not already have it, please be it to take a point of inspiration, because that was beautiful. So you settle down. Trelador, the end of your watch comes 4 hours. Celeste, you awaken from your repose. Miette, are you going to sleep now, or are you going to try and torment the guards some more?
Oh no, like I'll take half an hour to lick my wounds from that story, and then I'll continue because reputations have to be established.
Okay, fair enough. Well, whilst you think of something to torment them with, Celeste, you awaken. Trelador and Miette seem to be the only ones awake.
Have you taken your leave yet, Trelador?
No, I'm still here.
I mean, have you rested?
Well, I haven't done a lot, but I haven't meditated yet. But yes, I suppose I can hand over the reins to you. The room is secure. The guards keep coming in. And that's about it, really.
Very well.
Can you handle that?
I will do my best.
Is there anything you require, Celeste?
Oh no, it's much more entertaining watching you go yet.
I'm going to open the door and ask for a lady's sewing kit.
You see, it's the same tiefling. A sewing kit.
I have repairs to do.
I will see what I can do. Pulls the door closed. About 15 minutes later, the door opens. A sewing kit.
A lady's sewing kit specifically.
I'm sorry, I do not know the difference between a sewing kit and a lady's sewing kit.
A lady's sewing kit is enclosed in a fine filigree box, usually very highly decorated, and has all the items a lady needs, such as a small silver thimble, a delicate pair of scissors, all sorts of coloured threads, as such a lady may need for repairing her clothes. Buttons as well. Buttons are very important.
Make a persuasion check.
$19.
19. He sort of looks at the kit he's brought, which is none of these things. Looks up at you again. Very well. I will return very shortly.
Thank you very much.
Goes away again. Comes back about 20 minutes later with a decorative box that he puts on the table and pulls the lid open. It's a hinged lid, and inside are sewing needles, threads, and buttons.
Oh, this is perfect. It would only be more perfect if there's a little bit of pink ribbon inside. Pink is my favourite colour, you understand.
Pink is your favourite colour, I see.
Pink ribbon, yes.
Pink ribbon. This is necessary for this sewing kit?
I would have myself look my best for the magistrate tomorrow, so yes.
Very well. Leave it to me, Miss Miette. I will see what I can do. And you can hear him as he shuts the door. Fucking cat. I swear I will kill her. Come here, do this, do that. It gets quieter as he walks away. He comes back with, let's put it this way, it's not ribbon, it's used ribbon. Okay, somebody was obviously wearing this until about 5 minutes ago. You can imagine it still has some hair attached to it. He's obviously just gone down and ripped it out of the head of some poor unfortunate. Just puts it on the table. There, Miss Miet. I hope this will be sufficient for you.
You are the kindest tiefling I have ever met.
You are possibly the most challenging tabaxi I have ever met.
I'm glad to hear it.
He bows, walks back out, shuts the door.
Would you like some ribbons, Celeste?
Oh no, I think they would be very disappointed if you don't go out there sporting it yourself.
True enough.
Perhaps you could attach it to your tail.
I was thinking I might fashion it into a pair of horns. They will only be short ones, obviously. I have not got much material here, but in honour of our guards.
You are an absolute delight, Miet.
I do believe I am in very great danger, so there's no better time than to be amusing.
Okay, make me a performance check, please.
That'd be a 19 again.
19, yeah. You managed to fashion 2 horns, one slightly bigger than the other, to reflect the fact that he's had half of his head torn off. Is there anything else you would like to achieve before morning comes?
I could probably think of something, but I don't want to annoy the rest of the party.
Entirely up to you. If you wish, if there's one more thing that you must desperately get done before the morning.
See, the only thing I can think that I desperately need to get done before the morning is to put the horns on and poke myself out the door to make sure he sees them. With my next inane request.
Very well. You put the horns, attach them to your fur. They stand out quite well because obviously they are made of pink ribbon, and your fur is not pink. You poke your head out, and he sort of looks at you, Miss Miet, and then just sort of stops, looks at the cords on your head. There's a big grin.
They're fetching, no?
Miss Miet, you are perhaps the funniest person I have ever met. You are just perfect. I did a funny perfect. You get it? I'm trying very hard, but you know,
I appreciate
I am no wandering ghost. What can I get for you? Or did you simply want to show me your new horns?
I did want to show you my new horns and the worth of having fetched the pink ribbon for me so carefully from whichever poor soul volunteered the ribbon to you. But also, yes, I think it might be time to order breakfast soon for I and my companions, if you would.
Of course. It will be taken care of.
I don't mean to be a bother, but you wouldn't happen to be
I
able
don't
to...
think you could possibly be a bother. I have been talking to Miet all night. Whatever you are going to ask me, I suspect will not be anywhere close to being a bother.
I'm just trying to get my hands on a small, straight piece of iron, if I may. It doesn't have to be very big, just sort of this sized.
Of course. I will have it delivered with breakfast.
I would be very grateful.
Oh, and a pot of red ink.
And a pot of red ink, of course. Because why not? So, ladies, if that is all.
Thank you so much.
For now, as you say. Shuts the door. So, with the dawn breaking, the sun rising, the delivery of breakfast, and a small straight piece of iron, and a pot of red ink. Your breakfast is delivered. You awaken. You may all have a long rest apart from Miette, because she's been up all night playing. And we will end for this evening. Thank you all very much for playing. We did have a new follower that I just wanted to mention. I don't know if you're still about, JM Court, but thank you very much for the follow. That is much appreciated. Thank you all for typing in the chat. It's been very lively this evening. It's lovely to see. Thank you so much. We will pick this up again next Tuesday, when it will be, I believe, let's have a look. Who is doing our recap next week? I believe that will be Snow. So I hope you took lots of notes, Snow, because you're doing a recap next week. Oh, he's gone.
He always does. He always
I have
does.
to say, it's going to be a tragedy that Snow is in the boat, because it means Miette's shenanigans will not
be recorded.
come up in the recap.
Oh well.
Yeah, but he follows a god now. The god probably told him. Wow.
It was truly a performance to behold, that one.
Indeed. So, we'll just do a quick any questions, and feel free in the chat if you want to ask a question of any of our players, or about their characters, etc., or me about the world and lore, etc. Please go right ahead. We will answer as many as we possibly can in the next sort of 10 minutes or so. Quick, round the room. Who? Sorry. Okay, of course. Debbie, you.
I'm sorry.
No. Off you pop.
I was going to say, this is obviously not in character, because I've no way of knowing this in character, but dear God, Snow's gone off the deep end, and I feel like we have a new cursed object.
Yep.
I mean, could be.
Who's the more dangerous warlock here, Melissa or Snow?
Yes.
Yes is a good answer to that question. Anybody else have a question or just comments?
Snow with a fuck it reflex.
Yeah, he's got all sort of swaggery since he got his own boat, hasn't he?
Little bit.
I like it. It's good.
He had the swagger anyway. It was just the.
Yeah, it's just a little bit more pronounced now, I think. Which is cool. I like that.
I have a question.
Okay.
How does Trellador feel about everybody's comments on his attempted power from his new deity?
Can I revise that? Not everybody's comments.
Well, yeah, he's getting fucked off with it. Everyone's got an opinion, and no one's really taken the time to actually ask him. They're just making a lot of assumptions about his past. Yeah, he's getting annoyed with people sticking their oar in. And although it doesn't sound like it is, he is starting to take some advice to hand, like what Snow said and what Yorick's been saying, but he would never admit it.
I'm heartbroken. Nothing I've said.
Who are you? No, mate.
Awesome.
Oh dear.
I did back you up on that earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yep. He does get annoyed with Celeste because, as we said before, you remind him of his sister, and you keep doing that thing of interjecting and saying things that probably he needs to know, but he doesn't want to hear it because they're right.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yes, we didn't really get to hear from Gus or Florian much, or even Melissa, really.
Spent too much time sleeping.
Yeah. Drinking and farting.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a lot going on for like the likes of Florian past few days gone by. And I think last night kind of not as in the one we've just had, but the one back at the inn before we left to get here, it was a bit disturbing that he could literally not focus to get anything out of his mind, and still kind of heard the distant cries as such from his sister. Yeah, I think the wounds are slightly playing on his mind just a little bit because they're not healing as such.
No, they're not healing at all, which is
So
got to be worrying, I think.
Yes, which made me have a few thoughts about going in to see a magistrate with this spell, which may, it's
We'll find out.
It's like, oh no, this demonic spell is completely separate from that woman being a warlock and that man pledging himself to an unknown god. It's all fine.
Absolutely. I don't have any problems with this.
And Celeste being an interloper from another dimension or another world.
I did miss something, or I did it, but you missed it because I was on mute.
Oops.
It would have come out beautifully, but it was when Yorick and Trellador were talking, and he said shoesmith or something like that, and Gus, who was just falling asleep, was going to shout out "Gobblers!"
That would have been beautiful, but technical difficulties. Okay, so
I Martin couldn't remember the word cobblers, but also Yorick sees everyone as a smith of some sort.
Yeah.
So
that's scans.
I just had shoo people.
So, any questions from the chat? I mean, feel free. If you don't want to ask this question, that's absolutely fine. It's entirely up to you. We'll give him a couple of minutes just to see. Oh, hello. What's the meaning of life? Well, everybody knows that's 42. So, fair question. There's your answer. Nice, easy one. Ask us a difficult one. So, I'll give them a few more minutes just in case you've got any questions. If not, then don't worry about it. We will be back here, of course, next Tuesday. Is there a god, and which one is the right one? Yes, there are many gods, and I'm assuming... Yeah, I'm in D&D, not the real world. Yeah, of course, I was talking only about D&D, things I know about. In this particular world, in this particular plane, there are some gods. The right one depends on who you're asking. If you ask Yorick or Gus, it'll be Riox. My god can beat up your god. I mean, Riox? Don't think so. Peladas? Maybe. Depends on who your god is, really, isn't it? Bring it.
in the Celestial Rock Paper Scissors, Hammer beats Trident.
I think possibly. Oh, a Chaos Lord. We've got one of those too. He's hanging about somewhere. Yeah, my god is Chaos.
I feel like the god of all-consuming flesh chairs trumps everything else.
The all-consuming flesh chairs are good fun. Yes, that is true.
So much so that we need to insight check every chair that's in every room.
Yes, that has been noted. Thank you.
Yep. I will say not every room, but it was just to the point of that. So Florian didn't know any of the information what Melissa would have known about Legis. So, and going into a town where they've been expecting you with all of this shit going on, and they're being so nice with here's your chairs, here's everything. Just making sure.
People were nice to me. Eek.
In fairness, I was a little bit like that as well, because I kept expecting to get a heavy hand on my shoulder going, you're coming with us.
Or because you were pointing out that there was arms on the chair, the bottoms, the backs, and the arms were cushioned, just to be sat there. I almost said that I was going to sit there with my arms in my laps, because we put the arms down, and then there was this magical rope that bound us. And
I mean, yeah, maybe.
I've got to admit that did pop into my brain as well at one point.
Fair enough. Is the chair a member of my family? The flesh-eating chairs are friendly, if a little grabby. But yeah, they'd love to be a member of your family, I'm sure.
I mean, they're very
the board has had a
hands-on.
reshuffle, and so unfortunately, your family member has been removed from that position.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Yes, Debbie, go for it.
Just one thing I got reminded of there. So this is kind of in Miette's head, but given that our account of what happened to Chanry differs so much from what the legislator said happened in January, I'm pretty much damn convinced that when we passed through the hells, we did step slide to the left in terms of dimensions, because we don't seem to have come out in the same place.
I mean, that's entirely possible. I couldn't possibly comment, obviously.
Obviously, but I'm going to use this as an excuse from Miet's delusion that, Mikkel and everyone are still alive and well, and possibly just waiting on the island a little bit long before they were safely brought back to Dar in the universe we came from.
Yep, that's perfectly well. Yeah, I can't fault the logic and reasoning there. Was the jelly in the canteen enslaved gelatinous cubes? No, they were baby gelatinous cubes. Taken from their mother gelatinous cube and served to school children. That's what happens. That's how it works.
That's horrid.
Yeah, that's how. Was the pink custard some kind of charm potion? No, that was just pink custard. I'm sorry.
The fabulous of monsters.
To break your illusions there, the pink custard was vile and also just pink custard.
I have a question. How much has role-playing gamers had to drink tonight?
I'm thinking there's been a lot of wine going on. So,
just enough.
Are there rocks in rock cake? Yeah. Everybody knows that. So anyway, let's wrap it up. So we of course will be back here on Tuesday for episode 35. No alcohol, all sugar. Oh my god. Oh great. Roleplay Gamers totally full of sugar, like a 4-year-old. Anyway, we will be back here next Tuesday. Do not forget, however, that Roleplay Gamers and some of us will be here on Friday for the third and possibly final guest spot in Nextritania.
You mean Sunday?
Sunday, sorry, not Friday, Sunday. For the possibly final guest spot of Pan and Shadow in Nextritania. Okay, let's... No, not going there with the whole cooking chocolate thing again, no. Which is shaping out to be a really good one. There's a big battle going on, so that'll be good fun. Check that out. And as ever, have a wonderful week. We love you very much. We thank you all for the chat and the follows and all of the lovely things that you've said about us, even if you hate us. We just don't care. We love you. Okay, bye-bye, y'all.
Bye.